Good evening and welcome to another episode, Be Inspired. For the last few weeks, I hope you've enjoyed our regular weekly dose of Be Inspired show, where we bring you a leading successful entrepreneur, a person of who I hope has inspired you, has given you a sense of a purpose in order to sort of strive to do better or to do something different with your outlook in life or with your business. This evening, no shortage of talent. I'm honored to have not just one, but two inspiring British Bangladeshi entrepreneurs. I'm really pleased to introduce to you two brothers who are, I would say at the moment, are the most talked about brothers and also the company in the community. Let's go with the elder brother first, Kazi, Shafiqur, Rahman. Welcome to Be Inspired.
Thank you for having us. Jazakallah.
And no other than the man of the moment, Kazi Abidur Rahman, as I call him, Abid, the man, the social media sensation in the British Bangladesh community. Abid, thanks for joining me this evening.
Thank you, bro. I'm honored to be with you on this show, and thank you for having us.
Now, for all you viewers out there, I'm talking about Sunnah Mosque, the brand, the fragrance, as I call it, smelling of success. And believe me, if you stay with us for the whole show, you will be inspired by this amazing journey, the humble beginning to a global brand that is now Sunnah Mosque. But along the way, there's been many exciting adventure. So without further ado, let's go in and get it from Kazi Shafiq Rahman, your own introduction to your beginning, please.
First of all, thank you, Abdal, for once again having us. Many of you guys may know me or may not know me. Just to give you a bit of an introduction, so I co-founded Sunnah Mosque with my four other brothers in 2009 on the back of the 2008 credit crunch. That was right after I left my job in London City Airport. So I've been kind of involved in developing the brand from the initial £600 startup capital to what it is today. And then in 2018, I've moved on and handed over the leadership to Abid to kind of pursue my other ambitions in life, such as aviation. And many of you guys may know Firnas Airways, which I also founded and the CEO of now.
We'll come back to your the ambitious drive that you've got about the aviation because of your personal experience working as a student. When most people are working in fast food joints, you worked in London City Airport. We'll talk about that later. Now let's bring in the younger member of the family, currently running the Sunnah Mosque the brand. Abid, over to you for a quick introduction.
Thank you, Abdal, again for having me on. Obviously, my name is Kazi Abid Rahman, and some of you might have come across my Instagram page recently, and I've been quite active on the social media side of things. But I think my background, it comes from a branding and marketing point of view, and that's what I have a passion for, and that's what I studied in college. And ever since a very young age, I've been involved in the family business, and along with my brother, been involved in and along with him in the development of the Sunnah Mosque brand from its early conception to where it is now. And I think we're at a very good stage now, and Alhamdulillah, our brand is growing, and we are involved in many exciting campaigns and projects and products. So I think we have a lot more to come.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you both for that very modestly, I would say, an introduction. I know we're going to talk about your journey of Sunnah Mosque evolving from a small, I like to call it from the back of the truck, back of the boot, experience to, some of the biggest shopping centers in the country, a leading in the high street of your fragrance, and how you captured the imagination of not just the local community, but an international audience. And then we want to talk about the social media thing, as you said, Abid, you talked about, and then future plans. So why don't we just dive into 10 years now of Sunnah Mosque as a brand. Shafiq, let's take us back to how it all began.
So obviously it was 2008 credit crunch, and at that time I was working in City Airport as a lorry driver, not lorry driver, those catering truck drivers. And before that, I was cleaning airplanes in London City Airport, which has taught me a lot of things. But fast forward, it was 2008. I lost my job, and because of the credit crunch, our company started losing all the contracts with the airlines. So I started doing minicabbing for about a year in the night in 2009, and then Sunnah Mosque came about as an idea. So there's 5 of us brothers. Our second brother, who is now the Imam in Regent's Park Mosque, he's a very passionate.
Yeah, I need to sort of bring a little bit of this information, right? Because as I say, one of my hashtags is Dunya and Akhir. For those who know, will know what that means. You are an amazing group of brothers, 5 of you, alhamdulillah, and I'm very honored to know all of you in some ways. 3 of your brothers are leading figures in some of the most prestigious, most known mosque in London. So you talked about your second brother at Regent's Park Central Mosque. You've got another brother who's also very very articulate, very social media friendly at Darul Ummah. Tell us more about your older brother as well, who is also in the heart of the community.
My brother, he's the Imam of Stepney Shah Jalal Mosque, and he's been an Imam in the mosque for a while now. And so it was my second brother who wanted to do something with perfume, and by then I've already kind of failed a few businesses. I've learned some valuable lessons, which I have implemented in Sunnah Mosque, and alhamdulillah, it did pay off quite well. So it was my second brother, Kazi Rahman's idea to go into perfume, and he asked me, look, why don't you kind of take it forward as a project and see where it goes? So we put together around £600 of startup capital at that time, and we bought some stock from Egypt, along with all the bottles and accessories that go with it. And I remember first trade was in Ibrahim College at an event, where we generated about £30 in sales. And that was the moment when we kind of realized, actually, you know what, we could probably do this for a full-time thing. But then it wasn't kind of still sustainable to kind of leave my minicabbing job and start the retail fragrance business. So I kept on doing this on the side with my brothers. Most of the time it was myself going to Friday mosque, because Abid was obviously, as you know, studying in school. So I had to go out to Friday Jummah prayers and start selling the perfumes. Literally, I had about 30 minutes window to sample the fragrances and sell the products. Alhamdulillah, we've done that quite well. And then we went into market stalls. These were the good days. Before the market stalls, we were trading from the back of a van that Abdal buy, as you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've got some stories that you have from your end with the van as well. So the van came along, and then we started doing the market stalls. And then from the market stalls, alhamdulillah, we were very successful. And I remember walking down Whitechapel Market before we started the store, by the way. I was walking with my eldest brother, Kazi Rahman, who was the Imam in Shah Jalal Mosque, and I was saying, look, people are going to queue up and buy from our store. And I was like, honestly, I was just kind of saying it. I don't know why I said it. And alhamdulillah, we have proven it, and people have kind of queued up to buy our products, and we have succeeded quite well. And then we went on to trade in shopping centers, and it was quite new. I mean, it still is quite new for Bangladeshi community to trade in shopping centers. But alhamdulillah, we went into Ilford shopping center, and the reason for that was it was very, very cold outside in the winter of 2010, and we literally had to find a indoor location. And from there on, alhamdulillah, we went from strength to strength. And then Westfield came along in 2013, which is another story in itself on how we got into Westfield. And I'm sure you will ask us more questions around how it all kind of developed into the brand it is today.
We'll definitely do that. So, but just let's look at how the brand evolved. So you gave a snip of the fact Abid was still at school, so I won't give his age away, but he is a very young man. So Abid, well, most people are at school worrying about their GCSE and doing extracurricular activity. Could be going to the idea store, or it was in libraries. You're finishing work, study, and then you're coming out with ideas, marketing ideas, and also helping out your brothers in this, this new exciting.
Right in the beginning, when obviously it all started and it all came to an actual launch, I was very young, and at the time I didn't probably see vision that well. So it all started, I was like, okay, my brothers started to do it together. Let me kind of help out. So I was working alongside my brother, trying to do whatever I can alongside education and stuff. But from the beginning, obviously, again, I come from a creative background, and I kind of, along with the help of my brother and my sisters, we came up with the kind of the whole branding for Cinemas at the age of 14. So that was quite good. And then all the kind of, even the website, stuff like that. So we did that all ourselves. And the good thing is that because all five of us brothers have some sort of different skill set, we were able to use that in different ways to help the business. But again, going back to the whole, I was in school, and while other people were coming out of school doing other things, I used to come back to the stall in Whitechapel Market. In the weekends, I used to again help out working at the stall in the Whitechapel Market, and that's all I've known to be since I was in school, and that's kind of become my life. So ever since now, even now, Cinemas is my life, and it's 7 days a week. It's a passion. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is a lifestyle, and due to that passion and the family belief in each other, I think you've got a natural support base. Because obviously, we talked about your three brothers who are imams and being leaders in the community, in a sense of being the imam is a responsible job, but they've left you brothers to run the show. And obviously, Shafiq, you took it from as I said, from the not bootlegging, but from selling from a car boot to one time being hounded by it, not hounded, but I would say sort of being traffic warden. Traffic wardens. I will come about that because Abid seems to have a love affair with traffic wardens. But trading inspectors, approaching you because you were not deemed to have a proper license. Then obviously you went and upscaled to a market stall to now it's the biggest shopping center in London, or if not in the country. Tell us a little bit about that journey, because obviously for a young British Bangladeshi family of brothers, entrepreneurs, the belief you had in yourself to say, you know what, we know what attar, as in the fragrance. We grew up going to mosque and madrasas, you see those little containers, or somebody went to Saudi and got you one. But you took that small bottle to a global, of a brand new concept of selling it, packaging it, and creating a lifestyle. Tell us a little bit about that.
Go on.
Feel free, whichever one to die. There's no elders. There's no elders in this show. We're all equal here.
You might as well go for it.
No, I think our mindset and our vision has always been on a mainstream level. So when we saw the product and when we visualized what Cinemas was right from the beginning, we always had the vision that this would be a proper brand with proper a proper packaging and stuff like that. So I think that vision, the fact that it was there from the beginning, that's what helped a lot. So because we had the vision for it to be a proper brand, we took the right steps in the right way. So when we so I'll give you an example. When we were trading at the Whitechapel Market, we had a proper canopy while everyone was trading with the standard
the polythene sheets around covered.
Yeah. We had an actual branded canopy. We had a website. For a market stall to have a website, it's not normal. We had name badges while we were working on a market stall. Again, that's something that you don't usually see, but we had those things, and we've always had that passion to be professional.
We would actually turn up in a branded van. We would turn up in the whole Arab attire, and people would think, which brand are you representing? And, people couldn't believe that we were actually just, trying to create this brand ourselves. And people thought it was a brand that we were promoting or representing.
Yeah, they wouldn't believe that it's our own brand. It's something that we're doing by ourselves. So I think that goes very far, because when you're going to places like Westfield, that brand and that vision needs to be there. Because without that vision, you would never go to these places. If you just thought of your brand as just a little perfume shop, then you'd just be in, just stay in Whitechapel Market and do your thing. But we always knew that our brand had a lot more potential than what it was, and we kept on evolving. And I think, again, we didn't stop. And thanks to my brother here, we took those big leaps of faith, like going into Westfield, and that pushed us a lot into being a proper brand. Like, we were a brand, but being in Westfield, being in a flagship shopping center, which is known to be the biggest urban shopping center in Europe, that pushed us to certain levels. For example, we had to introduce better packaging, better bags, better customer service, uniform, all that kind of stuff. So I think, yeah, it was a combination of things. It was the vision, it was the kind of steps that we took, and obviously the du'as of our parents, which helped, I'm sure, a lot. And we've kind of...
You mentioned parents, and I know because I was very fortunate to be part of your 10th year anniversary celebration. And Shafi, you gave a really wonderful speech where you mentioned your mother's input. I know she's very much around and very much part of your daily life and your business, I'm sure. You talked about the blessing. You've got amazing backbone of both family, sisters, brothers and sisters, but your mum is literally what is your gel, right? So a little bit about your mum. So Shafi?
Absolutely. So I think without the motivation from our mother, we wouldn't have come this far, because I remember going into Westfield was a very, very scary thing in 2011. Come on, you're paying £20 a day
on a market store
a day for rent in Whitechapel Market. Now you're having to pay like almost £3,000 plus rent per week in a shopping center environment. So that was a jump in itself, because you don't know how a shopping center trades. You know how the market stall operates, and it's very low cost and low overheads. And to go for that risk into the unknown was a massive jump for us. And our mother, she kind of encouraged us, saying, "Look, go for it. What's the worst could happen? Like, I'm sure you'll make you'll break even, and then we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there." Some of the brothers obviously were a bit kind of wary of this decision, and maybe they weren't fully on board at that time. Because of the risk involved in terms of the capital and in terms of the whole reputation, because by then we've already built quite a good, decent reputation of quality fragrances and, excellent customer service. And they weren't maybe willing to risk all of that. But alhamdulillah, I must say, it was a lot of hard work getting into Westfield. It took us about 6 months worth of convincing and pitching and demonstrating that we're ready to go, because their concern was, you guys are in market stores and you are not fully ready yet with the capital and all of that. And they were right. We didn't have the capital. We had to source it once they gave us the go ahead. So alhamdulillah, it was our mum who motivated us and encouraged us to take the risk. And even till today, even whatever I want to do, like even if it's as ambitious as aviation, she has that faith and she says, go for it.
Excellent. All right. Well, listen, thanks for that. If you just tuned into us, you're watching the weekly Be Inspired show, where I'm very fortunate not to have one but two inspirational figures this evening with us. Kazi brothers, both Shafi and Abid from Sunnah Mosque, joining us this evening. Stay with us for the next half an hour or so, and we'll be talking more about their success in their journey, hopefully a little bit about them as individuals, but also some useful tips and advice. And as I said, it's a weekly show, and for those of you who have been tuning in for the last 3 weeks, thank you so much. And we at Vodcasts have been very pleased by your response and your comments, and we will hope to bring you inspiring figures each week. And do get in touch with us on social media to let us know how you take into the show. Going back to Abid. So Abid, you finished college. Your brothers are doing well, and then Shafi says, you know what? I'm going to hand the baton over to you. The youngest company CEO of a British Bangladeshi owned company. Yeah. You're running the show. You're from a market stall to Ilford, then to all the way to Westfield. But it hasn't stopped there. You've got a flagship store outside the largest Islamic institution in Europe, the London Muslim Centre, where, any day of the week when you walk past, you get that beautiful fragrance coming from your shop display. You then go to Brent, you go to Manchester. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
What's next, Abid?
I think we have a lot planned, and I like the whole situation of this COVID, the pandemic, and what we've just been through as a country, and as a brand as well. It's kind of I would say woken us a little bit in terms of the potential of online. So we were very retail heavy in terms of as a business. Obviously, most of our focus was on retail stores and kiosks and stuff like that. And alhamdulillah, we do very well in retail sites, and that's not something that would be stopping, and we would continue growing. We have a couple of locations in mind that we would want to expand into. Supposedly, we're supposed to be this year, but we'll see what happens. Maybe towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. But more than that, we've recognized the potential of the online space, and I'll give you an example. Like if we didn't adapt, and the way we kind of dealt with this situation when the whole pandemic started, and the strategies we put into place for the online sales, I think we would have struggled a lot today. But alhamdulillah, because we did all of that, and we've done very well online. We've introduced hand sanitizers. We've done all of these kind of new strategies and tactics. We've thrived. We've thrived online. And again,
now I want to talk about that, because I remember, because I follow you on social, where when the whole lockdown happened, when most people were sitting home, watching Netflix, you and your team, you were working to what? I think one time I saw 4 something in the morning. You're just packaging.
Till 10 a.m. in the morning once.
Wow, you did a whole night until 10 in the morning, where you were packaging up, delivering. Yeah. The postman couldn't keep up with you. You had to go back to the post depot yourself with a bag full of hand sanitizer.
About 200 plus packages, which is.
As soon as the whole pandemic started, we came up with the hand sanitizers, and we had to bear in mind, everyone was selling hand sanitizer at the time, so the stock situation of hand sanitizer was not good. You weren't able to get all of hand sanitizer. So what we had to do is we had to ask our fragrance factory to make hand sanitizer. So we got them to make that within a couple of days, and we had to go there, literally collect it ourselves, bring it back, print the labels, label it ourselves. So we basically made the product ourselves completely in-house, just to turn it around in the time that we wanted to. Otherwise, it would be impossible. So I had to get help from my friends, who are lovely people. They've helped me out. All of my friends, they've stayed here with me in the office all night, literally sticking labels and hand sanitizer and packaging the actual the packages. And we went out and actually delivered these packages ourselves, over 200 packages in East London, because at the time, I think Royal Mail were having some issues because, all of these logistical issues. But yeah, we've had to do that.
It's about adapting, and it's about how you formulate your business to deal with a crisis or a situation, and I think you've proven that. Okay, look, we talked about a lot about Sunnah Mass from the beginning, where you are and how you're adapting with the COVID situation and so forth. We're sort of halfway through the show here, and what I want to talk about is the people, as in you brothers, individually. You come from a very noble family. Your brothers are leading imams of some of the largest mosques, who are, well, at the moment not leading prayers, but soon will be leading prayers for thousands of people. Respectively, you both are very social media savvy. Now, I know this because recently, Abid, you helped your brother, Shafi, who did I gave him the title as, the Muazzin of London, right? I think the whole world knows this now. You've got a beautiful, mashallah, a beautiful voice. When you call the azan, whoever you are, and I know this because people have come to me and said that you feel, people feel like their heart is literally, pounding. You've got a beautiful, sweet voice. And I'm not going to ask you to do the azan now. But talk us about, because you did the azan for the Eid in the Square, which we launched in 2006 in Trafalgar Square, and you did the azan there, and you've refreshed my memory. But then this Ramadan, you were called upon to do the azan at Canary Wharf, the business heart district of Western Europe, and tell us about this amazing experience.
Honestly, this initially I didn't think much of it. When I was asked by my brother, who's this Imam in Darul Ummah, he was initially asked to do it, and then he said, "Look, I think I've got a better person in mind who can do it better." And Alhamdulillah, lots of practice has went behind, in terms of getting this azan perfected. And I've performed it, I don't know, hundreds of times in different places, different venues. And he referred me to go and do the azan, and I didn't think much of it. I thought, in my imagination, the imagination that I had was, I'm going to go up on the top floor for sure, and probably they're going to stick me in a room with lots of wires and maybe a mic and a webcam, and then that's what I'm going to do the azan, and it's going to get broadcast on social media and other platforms. But when I arrived, obviously, they said, "Oh, we're going to have to do a mic test." And I was like, "Well, where's the mic test?" And then they pointed all the way down to where I was going to stand. And they said, let's go. And then we went down, and they asked me to do a trial run of the azan. And when I looked back, I was like, wow, this is magnificent. The three tall buildings, one on either side, HPC and Citigroup, and one Canada Square right behind me. It looked so magnificent. And even then, still, I wasn't thinking much of it. I was just thinking, you know what, I'm going to do the azan, and that's it. So I done the trial run. It didn't come out as I kind of wanted it to come out, because it wasn't like, it was just before iftar. And you know what the funny thing is, I've done this azan so many times, and I know it, like, I can just perform. I'll go off like an alarm clock. Like if someone asked me to kind of, but that day I forgot the whole azan. Like I had to go and refresh my memory and relearn the whole azan, like how it all went, because of I guess there was an element of nervousness as well. And then obviously the time for iftar came, and thanks to Abdal, because had he not kind of asked me, like, look, take Abid and make sure someone is recording it on the phone, and make sure someone from far away is recording the top of the Canary Wharf going green while you call the azan. And when you called, I was like, okay, this is serious, because Abdal knows about it. Then I'm sure there's there's a whole thing, there's a whole arrangement that's being laid out. So I told Abid, and Abid, I knew, and I'm sure he'll agree, he wasn't so like kind of motivated or keen to go, but he just tagged along anyway because I asked him. And then I asked Tariq, who we were just doing a video shoot with the cars and the bikes. And I asked Tariq, look, you got to do this drone footage from your house, because obviously you can't fly a drone over Canary Wharf. So he did it. He agreed to do it from his house. And literally he was having iftar with one hand and doing drone footage with the other hand. And alhamdulillah, we arrived, done the test azan, and then Abid, I think, posted it on his social media.
I think we should get Abid now to disclose how he did what he did, because I think the current record is something like 2.3 million views of this azan.
Oh, because one guy posted it and he himself got 2 million plus views.
Wow.
Like some Sufi scholar.
Yeah, I think the night before I woke up, and I was with my brother Ashik, the Imam of Darul Ummah, and he was like, "Oh, I'm getting Shafiq to do the azan at Canary Wharf." I was like, very confused, like, what? That doesn't even make sense. I was like, all right, cool. He goes, go with him. I was like, all right, cool, I'll go with him. But then the next day, again, I kind of forgot about it. And then my brother reminded me, he's like, oh, I'm doing the azan tonight. Make sure you come. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll come. And then as I was driving towards Canary Wharf, I put up on my Snapchat that I'm driving to Canary Wharf and my brother's going to be doing the azan. And But then I didn't even realize people were sharing this already. Like, I didn't grasp at the time how big of a thing it was going to be. I knew it was going to be big, don't get me wrong, because I had my plan in place, how I'm going to caption it and how I'm going to post it, as soon as it's done. I had that all in place, but I didn't know how big it's going to be. I knew it's going to be big, but not that big. So when I got there, again, like my brother said, I thought we're going to go to the top floor. It's going to be an internal thing where he does it on a mic just within the center. I didn't know that it's going to be an actual public kind of speaker kind of thing. So when I went outside and I saw the Bose speakers and there's a whole camera crew and photographers, I was like, wow, this is, okay, now I know this is proper big. And then obviously I recorded the whole thing on my phone. And as soon as it finished, I put it up on Twitter. And of course, I worded it in a way where I thought that I think it would get the best reach. And straight away, it started getting retweets and retweets and retweets. And like, it just went mad, completely mad. And then at that point, I was driving home and I didn't post it on all my social media platforms by then already. So then while I was on the A12, I was like, hold on, I posted on Twitter. I haven't posted on Instagram or TikTok. So I literally got off the A12 to put it on Instagram. So I parked up. I got my phone out.
He saw me put it first. And
you see, Twitter is powerful, right?
Yeah.
And I put it up on Twitter first because I thought that's the most powerful platform. So I did that, which Twitter still got the most views. But when I saw his Instagram post, I forgot because I was so overwhelmed with whatever was happening. I forgot that I didn't post it on Instagram. So I parked up on the A12. I put it up on Instagram. I put it up on TikTok as well. And within minutes, it was getting shares and like bloggers, influencers, other influencers, like big people with big following, they were reposting the video that I posted on my page. And it just went completely mental. And I think combined, I got about 750,000 on Twitter, which was about 750,000, about 600,000 on Instagram, and then about 250,000 again, 250 on TikTok. So combined on my own accounts, I got over 2 million views.
Well, I think credit to the people behind who organized it. We should credit them as well for organizing it. But I think ultimately what made it a success is the combination of the beautiful voice of Shafiq, the smart thinking, and we know Abid has a fan base of his various things that are your TikTok and Insta and your socials, and that beautiful filming of the rooftop from our good friend Tariq. Combined, all of us together have done this amazing thing, and the response, as I said, has been phenomenal. I mean, and that sort of adds to the kind of the feeling of Sunnah Mosque, which is a lifestyle brand, a halal version of a good and friendly lifestyle. And also this Ramadan, both you brothers were very familiar to a major TV station that a feature on Ramadan plans, and talk us about that, because you both showed your not just your compassionate, caring side, but also the true reflection of what Muslim business people do. Talk about that, Abid, a little bit.
I think in the beginning of Ramadan, we have a good friend called Ahmed from Channel 4 who done the documentary on my brother on how to start an airline. He got in contact with both of us and said, like, look, we're doing a feature of Ramadan in lockdown, and we're going to be kind of showing how people are spending Ramadan throughout the pandemic and what people are getting up to. And obviously, they always find us interesting because we are young people from the East End of London running a successful business, and we kind of come almost from an urban background because we're involved in many things. So that kind of gave us that edge a little bit. And what we had to do is we had to film ourselves living our lifestyle, whether that was eating iftar, whether that was working, whether that was doing charity work, which we did in Ramadan. We had to film all of this and send that into them. So that was kind of coming part of a show that they were making. And I think one of the parts that they really liked was the fact that we sent Ramadan care packages out to all of our staff members, and that got featured in the documentary.
And half of your staff, if not more, are not Muslims. I mean, these are non-Muslims who've been laid off work, and you went out your way to make sure that we looked after.
Me and my brother, we actually went with the London ones, the one that we could we actually went and hand delivered it ourselves, just to kind of keep that connection with our staff and to show that we're still here. It's not just everyone's off work and we've forgotten about everyone. With Sunnah Mosque, it's more of a family than anything else. We stay very connected. We're like friends. We're like family. We work as a family. So they picked up on that. They really liked that. They featured that, and I think that gave us a lot of exposure as well. It was amazing.
Yeah. So all this is sort of playing into the strength of the brand, like you said. It's about a family orientated, 5 brothers, and your support and care from your siblings and your mother's guidance, but working with your staff members who are not just there to sell your product. They are there to be your part of your family, in a sense, your business family. Thank you for that and sharing. And as I said, I'm trying to touch onto the fact that both of you are very familiar on social media. You are showing a wholesome, hardworking lifestyle, but Abid, there is a bit of you which is that a lot of people are interested in, which is your love for fast food, or shall I say good food and good cars. So
and you forgot to mention the love-hate relationship with the parking wardens.
Well, I'm going to come on to that because in the beginning, when you started of your business, right? I had a previous role in where we live, in charge of parking as well as trading family, and not only were you double park outside East London Mosque, but also you were selling perfume without a trading license. So you've now gone upscale and gone all legit with a shop in Westfield, boutique shops in across the country. But Abid, what are we going to do about your love of parking tickets?
Oh man, I'll be honest, man. In me, I like convenience. So when there's not a parking space in front of certain restaurants where I go to eat, I wouldn't want to go park like 10 minutes away and walk down. I just park it and be like, you know what, when we get the parking ticket, we'll deal with it. We'll either appeal it and say we'll try and give them a sub story, or we'll just pay it. Do you know what I mean? So that's something.
There's a business idea for most restaurants, right? If Abid's your regular, I think, you know what? You could earn that extra money by making sure you take his keys and park the car for him, because you're saving a lot of money. But just on we'll ask Shafiq to come and give, because he's become a bit of a food reviewer, and I want to join him on those food review of restaurants, right? When the lockdown's over, not now, okay? When the lockdown's over. But let's talk about your love for cars. I mean, are you going to sort of pursue some sort of business element to this, or is it just that you enjoy cars?
I love cars. I've always loved cars. It's a real passion. It's not something that I do to show off. It's not something that I do to endanger lives or anything like that. Although I've calmed down a lot now. I used to be a lot more thing on the road before, but now I'm trying to behave on the road. But genuinely, it's a passion that I love cars. So I think it's something that I hope will always be part of me. But in terms of from a business sense, I'm not sure yet. Possibly, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in the future. But for now, I think what I would like to do is carry on driving cars, driving different cars, potentially start making videos on cars and reviewing them, and seeing what the benefits are, what the pros, and like how people do car reviews on YouTube. I think that's something that I'll probably get into as a hobby, because a lot of people do send me messages saying they love the car content. They love.
Now you're also famous for uploading another car video.
What's that?
In Beckton. If you haven't seen it, you can message me privately and I'll tell you what it is. But no, let's go to Shafi. Honestly, I mean, you and your daughter, I have to say, have become really good at giving restaurant reviews. As much as you love going to the gym, but you also love your...
this is my weakness. Food is my weakness.
So is this something you want to go into? Because obviously, as I said, it's about a lifestyle. You've got the Sunnah Mosque brand, from hand sanitizers to perfume, high-end perfume, and your adverts are amazing. So, you really do, you and your team come out with some great adverts. But is it something you want to do because, obviously, food is part and parcel of it? Are you looking to sort of maybe, venture into a business?
Do you know what? Food business is definitely on the table, and I'm sure Abid's on Abid's table as well. As a diversification, food is on the table. But these food reviews, you know what? I just kind of stumbled across to those reviews because initially I don't know, I just used to just do it myself. And then people started sending me stuff, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. Now I can at least, have the food at the same time. And the funny thing is, right, I kind of told our personal fitness trainer, PT, look, I want to eat, and at the same time, I want to lose the weight. Is there any solution for me? I remember saying, I want to have the doner kebab, and I still want to lose fat. Because no, it's not the word. But you know what? I think it's very fun. It's interesting doing those food reviews. Not only do you get, nice, get to taste nice food, but you get to kind of share your experience with your friends. And mashallah, my daughter, she's I think she's going to become more of a food blogger than me.
Okay, excellent. Well, like I said, if the day she has a day off, let me know. I'll definitely join you on those food review blogs. So guys, I'm really conscious of time, and I've kept you from your business and your family time, but I want to sort of maybe start to close off the show, but I want to ask about future plans, but also about advice. So we talked about, obviously, you've adapted, becoming more online focused, and also because of the hand sanitizer became such a lucrative, not just business, but a commodity because everybody was after it. You adapted. What advice can you give to those who are listening at home thinking, you know what, I need to think, obviously the government has now opened up shops and well, bars and pubs and whatever, but, opened up the retail sector. What advice can you give to someone listening to you this evening as to how they might be able to adapt and change? Let's start with Abid, then we'll come to Shafiq.
I think it's about being proactive. I think a lot of people throughout this pandemic, whether you're working or whether you're running a business, because of all the grants and the loans and the kind of furlough money people are getting, I think a lot of people are getting lazy and people are starting to become comfortable and complacent. But I think the good business people and the smart people, they never rest. I think they're always thinking about how to improve and how to make your business better. Like a lot of the good restaurants and the business people that I know, my friends, they've been working throughout the pandemic, flat out, non-stop, just planning for the relaunch of their business after COVID-19. Because let's be honest, tough times don't last, tough people do. So after this whole thing, blows over, there will be a time where everything will go back to normal, hopefully, inshallah. And we have to be prepared and we have to be ready for that. So let's not rest. Let's be proactive. Let's be innovative, and let's think of new ways to build brands, build businesses, and build relationships.
Thanks for those wonderful words. Shafiq, over to you in terms of your. I mean, we want to touch on. We started in the beginning that you've got this, as well as doing the work that you've done to Sunnah Master, take it to the level that it is, and give Abid the next chapter. But you've got a personal drive for aviation, as well as when you are struggling as a part-time cab driver, you were working in the city. What is it? The airport, sorry, City of London Airport, and you had this dream for aviation. Now, not many British Bangladeshis out there can say they went out there and started a company, and it's all documented on Channel 4. You went out there and got a plane to start a small commercial business. Tell us about that, and also what's the COVID-19 situation has meant for the flying business.
For travel, for flying, it's been quite a disaster. The COVID-19, because it brought everything to standstill, and it's still very slow at the moment. But alhamdulillah, touching up on what you said about launching an aviation company, which is extremely difficult. And this is me talking from my experience, having been through it, all the ins and outs myself. And all I can say is very complicated, very complex, and there are too many variables. With retail, you buy a product, you sell the product, you make your profit, done deal. But with aviation, there are too many moving parts, and you have to remain so fluid and so agile and so alert all the time. And I think that's one of the biggest thing for me that I've learned. Also, I have met some amazing people along the way in terms of making relationships with other business people. I think the biggest thing that I've learned so far from my aviation drive and my ambition is to kind of be able to kind of deal with situations and deal with defeats and setbacks and still carry on. Even right now, I mean, some of the shocks that you kind of come along the way, it's not just, a lot of people think, wow, aviation, it sounds so cool, but honestly, it's not as cool in the background. Coming back to what we were talking about, what you were saying about what advice can I give, touching on the hand sanitizer thing, as you just discussed as well. A lot of people were selling hand sanitizers at £25, £30, they were literally taking advantage of the situation. Alhamdulillah, we wanted to kind of remain kind of that company people can rely on, that lifestyle brand. So we've kind of initially priced our products we didn't make a single penny out of it. And then slowly, we probably made £1 or something on the later batches. The point I'm trying to make is to kind of be accessible, be affordable, but also giving a quality product. And I think that forms a very solid foundation to any business, to give that quality at the same time with affordability in mind.
Thank you for those wonderful words. Now, my hairstyle is obviously is natural. The reason Abid's and your hairstyle is a little bit more than usual is because I remember during Ramadan, when you're doing all this amazing work and everything, you both set up a public challenge. And this is what I love about your brand and the way you both, and I guess your family involvement, but in particular you both, are wholesome. You do things for fun, you do it for a purpose, but you do it with everybody. Tell us exactly how much did you raise, Abid, to get your hair cut? Now I know
No, initially we set the target at £5,000, and I said I'm going to cut my hair off. But then, within a week, within 6 days, we hit that £5,000. So I was eligible to cut my hair within a week. But we thought, you know what, this shows that we've got a huge potential to do a lot more. So then I got my brother involved. My brother came on board, Shafiq, and we done a joint campaign of £10,000. Again, we hit that within a few days. And then we just kept on raising the target. And in the end, we raised a grand total, an amazing £32,500, which I'll be honest with you, I saw Ix's campaign when he first launched his campaign. And I think within the first couple of days, he raised like £10,000 or something. I was very inspired. I was like, wow, like this guy smashed it. Like, just from a following, he's done so well. And I thought, you know what? We've not got like a reach like him, but I'm sure, we'll be able to do maybe a quarter of that. So we set £5,000 as our target. But alhamdulillah, due to some of the very healthy donations from our very good friends, very generous friends, we were able to reach £32,500 in less than a month.
What I would say is that having had Tariq on the show last week and knowing that how much time he puts into his hair, I think next year I have a personal target of getting a new location for Shafi to do the Azan. I'm working on a plan, and Abid, I know we do occasionally meet up. I think next time we have to get Tariq to sign the document. Donating his hair for charity next Ramadan. So watching this, and he's going to be avoiding me. But look, guys, I'm really honored to have you both. As I said, you're both very dear to me as brothers and as friends. I know how busy you are. To have you on the show, and I hope people watching at home will be inspired, will get more a backstory. And as you said, it's not about show off. It's about leading a wholesome life where you brothers work very, very hard from a humble beginning to, mashallah, amazing business that you've now created, and hopefully will expand and incorporate much more of a business nature as time goes on. I want to say thank you to both of you for taking the time to talk to us this evening. Until we meet again, stay well, stay healthy, and keep the business success going.
Inshallah. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time.
We'll have some time together soon. So yeah, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, definitely. I will look forward to, now that we are able to meet her apart. Look forward to getting together, and I'll get Shafi to get the dessert, and you can get the shisha. Until next time, stay well, stay listening, stay tuned with us. Thank you to the Kazi brothers for joining me this evening on Be Inspired. I hope you've been inspired by the amazing story of their success from a humble beginning, selling atar from the back of a van to now a amazing at Westfield shopping centers and various key locations throughout the country. I hope you've enjoyed it, and you will join me once again next Tuesday at 7 o'clock on Be Inspired. Till then, keep well.